History books remember the heroes. They remember the generals, the presidents, and the men who signed the declarations. But the grand halls of power were never truly empty. In the deep shadows of the American Revolution, there was always someone else in the room. Someone who saw everything, heard everything, and carried secrets that could have destroyed the nation before it was even born. In the late 1700s, inside the private chambers of George Washington, a man stood in the dark. He wasn't a politician, he wasn't a soldier, yet he held the keys to the commander-in-chief's personal desk. His name was Billy Lee, and for over 20 years, he was the literal shadow of the first American president. To the outside world, Billy Lee was just a manservant, but to George Washington, he was the only irreplaceable soul in Mount Vernon. When Washington rode into battle during the Revolutionary War, Billy rode right beside him, carrying the general's binoculars and vital military maps.
Think about it. While the world watched Washington command armies, Billy Lee was the one who prepared his uniform, brushed his hair, and witnessed his moments of absolute panic, doubt, and fury. Billy knew which generals Washington secretly despised. He knew the hidden fears of the man who was being built up as a god. In the quiet hours of midnight, while Washington slept, Billy stood guard over the nation's deepest betrayals. He was a vault of secrets, locked in absolute silence. Years passed, the war was won, and Washington became president. Through it all, Billy remained. But as time took its toll, Washington grew older, and so did Billy. Yet their bond remained unbreakable, disturbing the family and the elites who visited the estate. They saw a slave who operated with the confidence of an insider. Then came December 1799. George Washington took his final breath. As the family gathered to read the legendary president's last will and testament, a wave of shock went through the room. Washington owned hundreds of slaves, but in his final legal act on Earth, he singled out only one man. The will stated that Billy Lee was to be freed immediately. Not only that, but he was granted a permanent annual annuity of $30 and a home for the rest of his life. To the high society heirs, it was a scandal. To Billy, it was the price of a lifetime of silence. Billy Lee lived out his days at Mount Vernon as a free man, refusing to ever write a memoir or speak to reporters who begged for his stories. He took the private conversations, the flaws, and the hidden sins of America's founding father straight to his grave. We look at the statues of great men, carved in cold, perfect marble. But next time you see a portrait of George Washington, look closely at the shadows behind him. Because the real history wasn't written by the man in the light, it was kept by the man standing in the dark. If you appreciate these deep, untold stories and the dedication it takes to bring them to light, please consider subscribing and sharing your thoughts in the comments. Your support keeps this history alive. Thank you for watching.